Goku from Dragon Ball Z is the most solid character I think we'll ever see in fiction. And though that statement might seem a little bit ambiguous, I do believe that everybody that heard that statement, at least all the Dragon Ball Z fans, understand what I mean by that. What makes him so iconic is the fact that he actually inspires the viewers, not only with his actions, words, but even the tone of his voice. I'll never forget the times Goku saved the day, man. It never felt like any other hero that you know of, like Superman, Spider-Man, or anybody else of that nature. It just always felt so different based on just the fact of the person that he is, what he stands for, and also how intense but gentle he is. One of my favorite moments of Z Goku is the way he just walked up to Nappa after all of his friends were. The buildup was intense. Every one of his friends fought hard against Nappa to no avail, while he was frantically trying to make his way back from Otherworld to help them. Yamcha was the first to fall due to an unknown self-destruct mechanism inside of the Cybermen that was sent out to warm up the Z-Fighters. Krillin avenged Yamcha by taking on several Cybermen alone, while Piccolo helped clean up the rest of them. Shortly after this, Nappa displayed his power and the Z-Fighters quickly realized that they were completely outmatched. This caused Chaozu to go to his final resort, which was to self-destruct similar to how the Cybermen did. Chaozu latched on to Nappa's back and destroyed himself, but it wasn't effective. Tien tried to avenge Chaozu for sacrificing himself in vain, and fast forward from this point on, Nappa tries to attack Gohan to finish him off, and Piccolo protects Gohan and shields him, which causes Piccolo to go out. So now it's just Krillin and Gohan as the Z-Fighters, but just in the nick of time, Goku shows up. And how does Goku show up? Goku doesn't just show up like any other hero does. We first don't even see Goku. We see the Nimbus Cloud, a symbol of Goku, something that we've seen since he was a kid, since Dragon Ball became a thing. It was just something that was embedded in our memory. We see Gohan floating on the cloud, so that lets us know that something is, practically it just lets us know Goku is there, but also just kind of gives the viewer a warm and a pretty much a confident feeling like things are getting better. Now at this point, with all the intensity rising, as a viewer, we're just like, we're in shock right now. We know Goku's here, but we're not seeing Goku. We just know he's there. Then right before we can get to ask the question, where is Goku? We see Vegeta look up and he's floating in the sky above everyone. And to put this into a little bit more perspective, I know we're all Dragon Ball fans, but I just want to make sure this is clear for the record. Obviously, this is after Goku trained with King Kai, who is obviously a deity himself. And he trained on that planet, which has 10 times the gravity of Earth. So it really was intense for him to train on that planet. So fast forwarding back to this moment, it really puts things a lot in perspective to see that he's just sitting there floating above everyone the way he is, almost in a godly manner, if you will. And Goku's really not saying anything. He's just sitting there assessing the situation, pretty much just scanning the area. He realizes that Tien has died. He sees Piccolo on the ground, Yamcha, and Nappa pretty much just lets him know, well, that little guy, he's the only one that didn't end up on the ground, or I didn't destroy, because he blew himself up. Now this angered Goku. He was already upset, but for some reason he was able to keep his cool because he's Goku. He just walked over to his friends, Krillin and Gohan, gave him sensu beans, gave him a split of a sensu bean. And after that, it was just go time. And the look on his face is just brutally intense. Like you can clearly see that he's serious. The goofing around and joking Goku, he's not there right now. This is serious, I mean business Goku, and it's a Goku we haven't seen yet before. As a matter of fact, we noticed that when we get that little over 9,000 meme from Goku powering up right in front of Nappa before he attacks him. And really, the way that Goku attacks him isn't even a normal way of attacking a villain, especially one that killed your friends. I guess it makes sense, but he kind of just sunned him. He was definitely antagonizing Nappa, and Nappa wasn't having any of it, given the fact that he definitely just displayed power that was way beyond his. So Nappa charges Goku, and Goku is just standing there while Nappa is charging after him. The rest is history. He just moves quicker than anybody could see, and he kicks Nappa in the back of the head. And from there on, they get back and forth into a little tussle. Obviously, Goku is just one-sidedly whooping him, and what do you know? Goku just ends up standing on top of his head. So it's just moments like that I feel like that we miss in Super. We don't get moments like that. I understand that it's, it's kind of hard to make moments like that again because we've already seen it. But at the same time, I just feel like Super, we're lacking intense, meaningful moments like that versus just like kind of throwing all the stakes out because of a super powerful god out of nowhere just came and just said, I'm going to erase all of your universes if you don't give me a good show type deal, which is, I still think cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I feel like Z definitely did it better. And this video is mostly about establishing how Z established the format for how things were going to go forward, and then how Super kind of killed that format. That's basically what we're getting at here. And to compare this to Super, it just doesn't feel like we get too many scenes like this, especially relating to like the main story. Like if I were to compare this to like maybe the Battle of Gods arc, or even like if I were to compare it to like the Tournament of Power, it just doesn't really, you don't really necessarily get that same vibe. I mean, maybe it's just how I feel about it, but to me, it just feels like, in Super, it seems more so like people are granted special abilities or wish for special abilities and get stronger that way, more so than actually training and working hard for it and developing and bettering themselves more how they did in Dragon Ball Z, or in I'm just gonna say Dragon Ball Z because that's what we're talking about. I mean, another thing I can compare this to would be like when Gohan and Goku both were training to better their Super Saiyan power in the Cell arc. They finished training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, but Goku was like, well, our training isn't finished. We're gonna still use our Super Saiyan forms and get used to them while we're just walking around, so that our Super Saiyan form will be almost as if it's just a base form to us. Like, it doesn't matter if we go Super Saiyan, because it's not going to like wear us out and strain our bodies like it normally does, because our bodies are used to it. And they kind of like, they deteriorated from that a little bit in the Majin Buu saga. But at the same time, there was still a huge like emphasis on the power of Super Saiyans and their abilities and everything like that. I understand going God and Super Saiyan God, it changes like the strain and everything like that, and it levels it out and all that, which is good. And I like Super Saiyan God and everything like that in a way, but I just feel like the colors are kind of getting ridiculous now. Like the red was cool, then it's like now we're blue, and then once again, like when we get to seeing Rose and stuff like that, it just looks ridiculous. But that's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm kind of going all over the place again. I'm trying to keep this a little bit more structured, so I'm gonna get to my next point here. I guess for that point though, Z Goku just seems a little bit more, he seems a little bit more structured and a little bit more solid as a character, as far as what we expect Goku to be, versus in Super. He's definitely still, he's just one of the Gokus that we know of. He's the Goku that's goofy but still wants a good fight. And yes, that's Goku most of the time, like maybe 80% of the time that's Goku. But at the same time, there was a moment where Goku just got completely serious and was not playing at all. And that's just kind of what I miss about Z Goku, was the moments where he could just like tap into that Saiyan, that Saiyan arrogance, that Saiyan, I'm trying to think of the word, but you know what I mean? Like that fury, that Saiyan fury, where, yeah, he might spare his enemies at the end. He might spare the ops, but he definitely gonna give him a brutal ass whooping before he gets to that point. And you gonna feel every last one of them punches. And I also meant to mention, like, even when he screamed the names of his friends every time he hit Nappa, he screamed, "This is for Piccolo, this is for Tien." Like, that was just like, that was a different vibe. That was a different feeling. And we don't get that Goku in Super. That's just my opinion. But I also feel like a lot of us feel that same way. So my next point that I wanted to get to, though, we really kind of have a lack of new techniques. I mean, yeah, we kind of have some, but at the same time, they're really mostly just transformations. And I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I'm definitely a little bit, So I'm gonna put it this way. I'm not biased, but I'm a little bit more in tune with Z than I am with Super because I was struggling to watch Super when I was watching it because it was a lot of things that was pissing me off. And I can't really like remember everything, but I'm gonna go back and watch it and maybe I'll have a part 3 to this video so I can make more sense out of it. But what I wanted to talk about with the techniques is like obviously Goku just getting UI Goku because of what he blew up in a spirit bomb, his own spirit bomb. I'm not fully understanding that. Maybe y'all could tell me in the comment section how that really went down, but I never really fully understood that. I also never understood how Rose became a thing. Like I understand that he's the evil counterpart to Goku, but it's like, so if that's your Super Saiyan God, like did he just make the hair color himself? Like he decided to make it pink instead of the blue that they used to or whatever. I don't know. That's another thing. And I might have forgotten. He might have actually mentioned that. I just don't remember. But at the same time, do we really respect that? Like honestly, in all honesty, if we're comparing Z to Super, if we're saying Super is supposed to be the predecessor to Dragon Ball Z, are we just going to be okay with that? Are we cool with like so many of these things that we're not supposed to see? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it. But that's just kind of how I look at it. I feel like the characters, they definitely changed a lot. When it comes to like characters like Gohan, I feel like Gohan definitely, obviously he was going to be different. He changed a lot in Z when he went after he defeated Cell. He clearly there was a peaceful moment and Gohan became weaker. But then he realized he needed to become strong to protect the world, so he trained with the Elder Kai. And it's like moments like that is what I mean. We get moments like that in Z. But when Gohan needs to get strong and protect the world in Super, even though it's just a movie, and maybe hopefully they can like make it make more sense if they put it together in a manga or in a anime, but I don't know if they're gonna do that. That's besides the point. It's just, why are we just gonna skimp out on the story and when I say the martial arts aspect of the show? That's what I mean. I don't mean there's not martial arts in a martial arts show. That's ridiculous. I'm just saying, why are we doing so many speed ups to just hurry up and push out a new transformation, a new character, and a new toy to sell and new merchandise? You know, like that's just truthful. And I really started this video off like having somewhat of a script put together, and I was reading the script and a lot of it sounded good, but most of it sounded like I was just kind of talking about the show Dragon Ball Z and just like giving you an analysis of it. And I can give you guys analysis episodes and videos about like the show, whatever. But I figured I gotta get more in depth to just what I feel, man. Like, and it's hard to like read what I wrote down. So this is me freestyling from at this point. Obviously, I've been freestyling for a long time at this point, but sorry this video took so long to make. I had a lot going on. Been busy with life and just a whole lot of interesting things going on in life, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just feel like Super definitely ruined Z in so many different aspects. And I mean, if y'all want me to go in depth even more, I can definitely do so. I mean, we can have conversations in the comments and I could keep going, bro. But it's hard for me to like really put it all into one video. You know, there's so many different things that I could discuss. I mean, we could talk about how the Patara earrings out of nowhere, they retconned that. We could talk about the fact that, you know, like I said, with Gohan, they kind of made it seem like, well, if he's going to get strong in Z and he got as strong as he did, they made it almost seem like he was going to like, you know, in Akira Toriyama, allegedly, I've heard that he was thinking of making Gohan the main character, but then he just went back to Goku, and that's what kind of happened with Ultimate Gohan. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, he could have definitely, well, not even he, but just as a whole, Gohan definitely could have turned out to be still a fighter, given the fact that he already done went through his peaceful moment and then came back and had to become a fighter. Now we're gonna throw him back to be peaceful again, and now he's being a fighter again. So what's gonna happen after Beast Gohan? Is he just gonna be a fighter, or is he gonna go back to being a little, you know, scholar, a little teacher? Like, what's happening? I don't understand the structure. I don't understand the focus in Super. I don't understand where we're going anymore. With Z, it felt like we had more of an idea of where the direction was. You know, we had more of a direction, but with Super, it just seems like things happen because they need to happen at the moment. And I know I said that was it, but I don't think I think there's more. Another thing we could talk about clearly would be like Z Broly versus Super Broly. I feel like they didn't need to change a whole lot with Super Broly if they were gonna, because my thing is, you already done made Paragus have the same name, Broly had the same name. They're the same characters. Most of the story is pretty much the same. We don't really need to like make it different to make it better. It doesn't, just because you change the story doesn't make it better, you know? And like, I'm not trying to be like just nitpicking at things, but I'm just being honest. And Broly is my favorite character. So this is like a really important message for me right here. It's just like, all the Broly fans, if you feel me on this, I need y'all to like put this in the comment section, or y'all could talk to me about this later. But I just feel like Z Broly honestly was like one of the greatest villains of all time, man. Just of all time. He was just mean, bro. He was a monster. Z Broly was a monster. And no, better yet, let me not say a monster, because he would tell you he is the devil if you call him a monster. Call Broly a monster, he'll say he's the devil. That's how badass this motherfucker was, bro. He got me cussing out. Broly like was just an inspiration, man. He was like your favorite, your super villain, man. Like he threw his own father into the comet because he was trying to leave him. He crushed him up into the spaceship and threw him into the comet. He blew up the people's planet that they enslaved on the planet right in front of them, just threw a key blast. And like, I mean, Broly deserves a video, okay? I can't even describe how important Broly is to Z and how much Broly just like represents what Z was. But when they brought him to Super, he barely speaks. He's a caveman, which is, I understand his story is decent. His story is probably better than Z Broly's story. But at the same time, I feel like that's only because they didn't go in depth with Z Broly's story, for one. For two, Super Broly just doesn't feel like that super villain that Broly was. That mean, arrogant, cocky son of a bitch. Like just evil, man. Like, you know. And I know Broly ain't meant to be evil now. He's just kind of misunderstood, but that Broly was misunderstood as well. He just went to the edge, and maybe they could have made a way to where that Broly could find a way to be understood, because that Broly was more of a real Saiyan. He was like the embodiment of what a Saiyan was. He was destroying galaxies. You know, like, I don't know. That's kind of how I look at Z. I see Z as just this super badass, metal, cool version of what Dragon Ball Super became. Z is just a million, I can't even put a number to it, times better than Super. But at the same time, I definitely do love Super because Super kept Dragon Ball going. It's keeping Dragon Ball alive. It's got millions and millions of people still watching Dragon Ball, and millions of new people watching Dragon Ball and playing the Dragon Ball games and stuff. So at the end of the day, we can live in a world where Z and Super coexist. I just feel like it hurts to know that Dragon Ball Super ruined Z. It hurts to know that Z will never be anymore because Super has forever taken the light. And there's nothing that we'll ever be able to do about that. But I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. Anybody that feels the same way, please let me know. If you disagree, please let me know. But also, go back and watch Z. I'm gonna go back and watch Super NZ. We're gonna go ahead and maybe make another video. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna lie, I was working on making this video a lot more in depth, but I kind of rushed it out because I felt like I was overthinking it a little too much, I think, maybe. And plus I did get caught up in a lot of life things, so I wanted to hurry up and get this video out to y'all. But if y'all want me to make a third part of this video, y'all just want me to keep making videos like this in general, definitely leave a like. And please subscribe if you're new. I'll go ahead and keep dropping content as much as I can for y'all and try to make it as daily as possible. We do drop content daily, whether it's shorts, videos, or live streams. We're going to drop something every day. And you can catch me on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, all with the same name, DTE Commie. And without further ado, I'm going to let y'all go. I'll catch y'all on the next one. It's your host with the cloak, Down Nerve Commie. We out here. Peace.